I'm just firing guns and...
Yep.
I can't wait to actually play this on the Switch.
We're good to go.
Clap sync us in, Izzo, because I'm already killing demons.
We're live.
Clap now?
Clap now.
Yes.
Clap sync us in.
Oh.
Clap now. Do it now. Meow. Yes.
Alright, everybody. Welcome to a live version of it. Well, live if you're on Facebook. Not live if you're watching this on YouTube.
Don't know if anybody's watching it live right now, but
Everybody's watching
I
live
bet you
right now.
I bet
can
you.
tell you right now.
I bet you Keish is in there. He saw the prompt and you know Keish is watching.
Oh yeah, Keish popped in when I was Facebook living from my friend's band gig last week.
Oh, we have one person.
Probably Keish.
Probably me.
It's like probably Keish.
Or your mom. Could be your mom.
I doubt it, sincerely.
Well, she did for the first time.
That's because I told her about it. She ain't gonna watch those prompts. She
true.
actually hasn't been on Facebook much.
I
And
can't
given the
remember.
rant
I wouldn't
went
want
on
to.
today. Probably not. I don't even know what's going on.
Yeah,
There's a lot going on right now.
This game
a
is so Japanese.
lot
I
going
love it.
Yeah, I've been meaning to pick this back up and give it another shot.
I can't believe I didn't have my old save file from when I owned this game.
Oh, you didn't?
Hold on, so what are we playing? What am I
Bayonetta.
saying?
Bayonetta. It's a Sega game, isn't it?
Yeah, it's made by Sega.
Okay.
All kinds of
You
Sega
know,
goodness.
what I was actually thinking, it might be like Devil May Cry or something, because all I see
It's
is
very similar to Devil May
Okay.
Cry.
I mean, it definitely has that look and feel to
yeah.
it. so-
Well, all I see is like some dude in like red.
No.
Like some chick in
Chicks.
red.
Yeah.
Oh, they're all chicks.
Yeah, all
Oh,
chicks.
he's very Japanese then.
Yeah.
Oh, this is so Japanese. And the fact that it's only on Nintendo systems now is so freaking hilarious.
Yeah.
Because your clothes aren't really clothes. They're your hair.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I gotta see that.
And what's cool about the Nintendo one, I can use my amiibos, and my costumes will be like Samus and Link and Zelda and shit like that.
Mhm.
I can't wait to actually play this on my Switch. We're actually playing this on the 360 now, because I didn't feel like hooking up the Switch.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, I got Bayonetta on the 360.
Actually, that is the laziest thing you have ever said, because hooking up the Switch requires you to freaking put it in the crate.
Well, no, but I mean, like...
I didn't want to say it.
Also, the problem with us doing stuff on the Switch is like whether Nintendo's going to claim it or not.
Yeah, true enough.
So it's just one of those
mean-
things. That's what I was thinking about earlier today when we talked about playing Bayonetta. I was like, man, if we play it on the Switch, is Nintendo going to claim us?
It's hard to say. I really don't know.
Because they have the exclusive rights to the game right now.
Yeah.
Because if you bought Bayonetta 2 on the Switch, you got to download a copy of Bayonetta 1.
Which is pretty cool. Buffalo of Blood.
So 2 games for the price of 1, and Bayonetta 3 is coming out, I think, later this year.
Mm-hmm.
Bayonetta 3?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I played this game when it originally came out because I bought it from a Blockbuster going out of business for like $1. But but because of the stigma with this game at the time, I didn't play that much of it because I didn't want my friends seeing my achievements. Like, he's playing Bayonetta.
Yeah,
perv.
it's the same reason I didn't want to play Bayonetta.
But I enjoyed the game.
I didn't want to be looked at as a
Carmen
perv.
San Diego?
Yeah, I enjoyed the game because it's a fun
Oh,
game.
there's a cutscene in here that made me feel so
And then, but I still put it down because it made me feel pervy. But like years later, like when it got re-released on the Wii U,
everyone apparently loves
everyone was
it.
like, "This is
Yeah.
one of the best games ever." And I was like, "Man, maybe I didn't have to be ashamed about being pervy because a lot of people I respect played through the first game,
Yeah.
like James and Lawrence of Funhouse."
Yeah, this was a Games with Gold freebie.
Exclusive, yeah.
Yeah, so like I know I have it too, so I
Well,
just
but honestly, I don't see anything
Perfect.
Oh, we
Yes.
haven't gotten to that
No.
yet.
Okay.
We have
I mean,
not
there are
gotten to
games
it.
out there
I
that
don't
are
even
like
wanna
make
say
you
Yeah, that are like worse.
like
Yeah,
what I've
no,
seen
no.
so
It
far.
gets
Grand
there.
Theft Auto.
It
I mean,
gets
come
there.
on.
But
Yeah,
Max Payne.
this game with the cutscene that I'm thinking of, it makes Blood Rain look like a Disney movie. As far
Blood Rain. Never seen it.
Blood Rain.
scantily clad vampire kills Nazis.
Yes,
But
it was during the GameCube era of
okay.
of games. So GameCube, Xbox, PlayStation.
Yeah, so there's going to be a lot of filler for this episode because we only have really 2 topics. But 2 topics I feel we can delve deeply into.
Very
the
important.
first one, so it's Friday. The premiere of Black Panther is today, and we have not gotten a chance to go see it because we have real jobs.
I'm gonna see it tomorrow though.
I'm probably going to go see it Monday.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
gonna
what
go
I was
Monday
pretty much
afternoon.
planning
We have a
on.
day
I'm
off.
gonna see it. I'm probably gonna see it Monday too.
But here's my thing: is there's a lot of hyperbole surrounding Black Panther. I feel it's reached Wonder Woman levels, and I honestly think this is a better movie than Wonder Woman,
Oh, it will be.
mind you. But I also think Wonder Woman, female superhero directed by a Woman. A lot of people were saying it was a great movie when we all kind of reviewed it. Well, I know me and Nelson said it was about 7.5. You thought it was a little bit worse than that, right?
Yeah, it was, but it was though.
Yeah. So I mean, I thought it was just a good movie. You thought it was an okay movie.
I
right?
enjoyed it, but it wasn't like the best.
Yeah,
movie
it wasn't
I've ever seen.
groundbreaking.
Yeah.
People calling for it to get like Oscar nominations. Like,
Shoot,
it's
this came
not-
out in the early
Oh,
2000s. I'd have been like, it's the best movie in the
It
world.
wasn't that good.
Yeah.
And my thing is, I feel Black Panther's better because A, it's a Marvel movie, and those tend to be better than DC movies. But I also feel because it's basically an all-black superhero movie with a black director, though Ryan Coogler, I think I'm saying his last name right?
Yes.
Is fantastic, because I fucking love Creed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Creed was
I
a
would
great
say
movie.
Creed
I haven't
is
seen
my
Fruitvale Station yet.
third favorite Rocky movie. Rocky 4, 1, and then Creed are my favorites. So I trust that he's made a good movie. But what I'm worried about is, because like the Nerdist called it the Marvel MCU's Godfather.
Really?
And I'm like, that
It's
is
a
where
very
like
bold statement.
that is the epitome of hyperbole for me. Is that as good as this movie may be, it's not the fucking Godfather.
But you have to kind of take it within context. I mean, nobody's saying that is better than Godfather, but those are two completely different types of movies.
I know, but I also
But that comparison is a very bold statement.
yeah, it's also I mean,
but maybe that just speaks
just invoking Godfather though.
Yeah.
Because for me, my personal, I think it's not my favorite, but I think the best MCU movie thus far has been Civil War.
I knew you were going to say that. Yeah.
It's a very no, I'm sorry, not Civil War. I'm sorry, not
Yeah,
Civil War.
no.
Winter Soldier.
Oh.
Yeah, I was like, a little surprised.
It's
there
a
for second.
very
I was
it's
like,
a very deep espionage movie. And much like I felt with like Batman Begins and The Dark Knight, you can pull the capes out of there, and you've got a good thriller movie that would get more respect
Yeah,
from
I mean,
the general public.
Winter Soldier was
disagree.
essentially
best movie, Captain America.
The first Avenger? Was
Yep.
it Haley Atwell?
Yep.
Well, what I was gonna say was with Winter Soldier, that if you take out the superhero element, that's essentially the Manchurian Candidate, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very much the Manchurian Candidate. So I mean, now and I want to stress there's no judgment here of Black Panther because we haven't seen it yet. I will reserve my judgment until I see it. And like I said, I feel it's probably good.
Yeah.
But I almost feel this is going to be, and Nelson will know this reference by me because he was around for it. I don't think we had met yet because I think this movie came out when we were in high school. But The Minority Report.
Ooh,
That
I
movie,
remember that movie.
well, I know you remember the movie. That movie got hyped up so badly to me, and I didn't get a chance to see it in theaters. My buddy Mike got it for me for my birthday that January, and I was expecting like Citizen Kane. This is how bad this movie was hyped up to me, and now I appreciate Minority Report for what it is. But I did not like The Minority Report when I first watched it.
Really?
Because it was so hyped to me.
Yeah, that's the problem.
It
When
could-
something gets so hyped up to,
It couldn't meet the expectations that it was hyped
to
to me.
critical mass,
And
you know.
I'm afraid the same thing is going to happen with Black Panther. It is going to be a very good movie.
Yeah.
But because of all this hyperbole for it,
Yeah.
I'm expecting something along the lines of Godfather, and it's going
Yeah.
to disappoint me. That's my fear.
Yeah, I'm a little afraid of that too because I've seen that a lot of that hyperbole, a lot of that hype. The thing that really concerns me, for lack of a better term, because I don't know what other word to use, is all the hype around Michael B. Jordan's performance. I like Michael
am
B.
not
Jordan.
concerned with that because Michael B. Jordan
He's a
is
fantastic-
I
fantastic.
like him. I think he's a great actor.
He is a gift from God.
Well, see,
But
now,
my problem is
here
a
you
lot
are
of people-
feeding into his hyperbole. You know,
Yeah,
it can't be Godfather levels, but
I just
Michael
really-
B. Jordan. He's a great
Make up your
actor.
mind.
I just
Make up your
enjoyed him.
mind.
I just really, really like Michael B. Jordan. And the thing is, when he got cast as the Human Torch, I wasn't a huge fan of them changing the color of a character because I feel if you do it the opposite way, you get a lot of shit.
Yeah.
But I thought if there is one person who is not the right look for the Human Torch, who could be the Human Torch, would be Michael B. Jordan. Now, granted, I have no idea if he did meet those expectations because
I never
there's
saw
no
it.
way in
Never saw it.
hell
See,
I'm watching Fan
know,
Four Stick.
The only problem I had with that casting was the fact that they kept Invisible Woman white.
Yeah,
I thought that was dumb, and I thought it would have been more groundbreaking if they had them both be black
and she falls in love with Reed,
and
we
she's
have
in an interracial relationship.
Yeah.
I think that would have been. I think that would
Especially
have been
because,
more
like, for some
meaningful.
reason, like with mainstream Hollywood movies, when you get an interracial relationship, it's black man, white woman. You almost never see the other way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I actually read an article about that. I can't remember from where, but I actually read an article about that at how like that's disappointing because like there's plenty of interracial relationships that go that way of white guy, black woman, kind of thing like that, and it feeds into. I think the article's point was it feeds into the stereotype that black men just want white women, kind of thing like that. And
this is the scene where I was like, I feel so perfect.
That
this game. No, yeah. You didn't see the part
see, like
where
I
they
said,
hold on. But have you seen Sailor Moon's transformation though?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
I have.
Have you seen?
I've seen the American version and the Japanese version.
But you don't.
Have you seen Kill a Kill?
But you don't have
Yes,
achievements popping up in your Xbox that you watched Sailor Moon.
But at the
you
same
do
time,
have
though,
achievements saying
I
you're
saw
playing
this before I saw Kill a Kill. So Kill a Kill
is like
it
100 times worse.
It's 100 times worse, but it's an old hat to me by this point. This came out in like 2006.
Yeah, but yeah, it's like going back to the one point, and she just fucking just killed him. Look at that, she just killed him with her crotch.
Yep.
But no, back to the point. It's like you don't see that opposite interracial relationship.
Well, you don't see that many like different types at all.
Yeah,
really.
and Nelson and I talked about that. We do feel they kind of missed an opportunity of like casting a black woman as Sue Storm and having her fall in love with Reed.
Yeah, I really
that.
I that was really my only problem with that casting is the fact that they made up some half-assed story that that she was adopted. I was like. It felt like a cop-out to me.
It did. Well, that whole movie was a cop-out.
It felt so lazy to me. I'm like, what the fuck?
I've played like 30 seconds of game, and we've had mostly cutscene.
Yeah. Perfect cutscene.
Yeah. It's not even that good.
Well,
it's
Xbox 360.
Yeah.
Or like mid lifespan. Xbox 360, not even late.
Guns. That's all I can say for a second.
Yeah,
Guns.
so
And even though Sega published this was a this was a much smaller studio that made this game.
I don't get what's happening here. She's killing a lot.
This game is all kinds of Japanese.
Yeah. You're not even if you had the sound, you weren't gonna get.
No, like that's one thing I love about this game. It's just it's so Japanese. Like I just love those games that make it to the States. That just give two shits about the Western audience. It's like we are a Japanese game developer. We are making a game we want to make for Japanese audience. Fuck the West. And that's what this game is.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And she hits her disco pose. She's dancing on some tombstones.
Yeah, this is.
So if they ever,
I don't know what's happening. I need to play this later.
If they ever made a movie of this,
it would be hentai.
No, that actually kind of goes with what I was going to say. If they ever made a movie of this, I feel the perfect person to play Bayonetta would be former adult film star Diana Prince.
Yeah, she kind of, yeah.
Well, that's where she got her name from because she's a big Wonder Woman fan.
she's a huge Wonder Woman fan. Yeah. I can
see
that.
Her real name's Casey something.
Oh. What's happening?
Give me a tutorial.
Oh man, we kind of went off the rails real quick.
So,
but back to Michael B. Jordan.
Wait, no, let's cast. No.
So,
Michael B. Jordan.
Well, my original point was I'm a little afraid of all the hype of Michael B. Jordan for Black Panther is because a lot of people have been comparing him to Heath Ledger's performance, and I'm like, how does that work?
But who?
Like that's a completely different tone.
But who though?
Huh?
But who has been making these comparisons?
Who is he? Is he the Black Panther? No.
No. That's Chadwick Boseman.
He's
he plays Killmonger.
Yeah. Have you seen Creed? Because he was Creed.
I have not seen Creed.
It's
on my list of movies.
Have you seen Friday Night Lights?
No.
What?
He was I never saw Friday Night Lights, the TV show. He was in that.
Yeah.
Because the first thing I saw him in was what was that found footage superhero movie?
Chronicle.
Yeah, that's the first thing I saw him in.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I hadn't seen that.
He's the black kid in that.
Creed is a movie that's been on my list of movies to watch for a while.
I'm kind of surprised you haven't seen that yet.
It's on Netflix, I think, or Hulu.
It's on Hulu. It's definitely on Hulu. It might be on Netflix. I don't know.
I'll check it out tonight when I get home.
Good girl.
Yeah, it's a really good movie.
Yeah, if you like the other Rocky movies, I mean, it just follows Rocky 1 formula.
No, I
basically.
like him in general. Like,
I just like
a pretty.
Claire Huxtable. I can't think of her name. Being in that movie.
Claire Huxtable.
Yeah.
Felicia Rashad.
Yeah, Felicia Rashad. Thank you.
Yeah.
I could not think of her name to save my life.
Felicia Rashad. She was the mom.
Oh, yes, right.
Felicia.
That's Felicia, yeah.
Yeah, it's...
Rashad?
Just type in Claire Huxtable.
She's the mom from The Cosby Show.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, she's the mom from The Cosby Show.
I don't know.
Yeah, I liked her in that movie a lot, actually, even though she was barely in it. Yeah, but back to your question, Izzo.
I am shooting guns
from your heels.
Out of my heels.
I saw that.
While doing a handstand.
And showing everybody your ass.
That's what I do.
The person that I remember off the top of my head, one of the people off the top of my head that I remember talking and comparing him to Heath Ledger was Kevin MacArthur from the Fox Morning News.
Well, Kevin MacArthur is just full of hyperbole.
He is. I don't hate him as much as I used to. It's more like
I'm just beating that demon to death.
He's like, for me, he's there. I know that he gets a little hyped up for some movies because he just really likes movies.
Right.
He's too much of a movie fan to be a reliable critic.
Yeah, I mean, basically for him,
everything's a good movie.
He's not as bad as you.
No.
No.
When he hates a movie, he hates a fucking movie. And when he tends to hate a movie,
as bad as me. Go fuck yourself.
when he hates a movie, I tend to see where he's coming from and almost agree. But when he's hyping up a movie, it's like I gotta see it for myself before I even make a decision, because there are times I don't really agree with him. There was a lot of times where he used to annoy the shit out of me. But I don't hate him anymore. He's just kind of there.
Yeah.
I'm actually curious to hear what he says half the time, just because I just want to see.
Because Nelson was.
So I have a baseline to know whether or not I'm going to like something or not.
Should I trust him?
Yeah, it's like, should I trust you?
No. Yeah.
Unless he hates a movie, then I'm like, ooh.
Kind of like if Stephanie says she hates a movie, I'm like, that movie must really fucking suck.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, so then, what are our expectations of Black Panther 1 to 10?
As a rating scale, I would probably say it's probably at least a solid 8, at the very least.
Yeah,
really?
I'm gonna go with an 8.
I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm saying my expectations
he's expecting it to be an 8.
The people involved with it, the writers, the director, the actors, I feel that I'm probably going to like it to the point where it would at least be an 8 for me. It would have to really, really drop my expectations not to be that. But I want to get to one more point about hyperbole. I was listening to Joe Rogan's podcast today, and he was talking about Black Panther, of how some very far left liberal white people were saying this, that white people shouldn't go to Black Panther this weekend because it's not our movie. And some white people were actually asking when it would be okay for them to go see the movie.
Oh my god, I hate the world we live in. I really do.
It's these SJW snowflakes. It's just kind of like...
I would just roll up into the Black Panther movie and
just go see the movie.
I don't get it, because that's never a question that comes into my head when I watch Thor Ragnarok. It's never a question when I watch...
But that's the thing, you're not a liberal nut job.
Yeah,
and that's the problem.
Very true.
It's these, and these are the people who I have the biggest problem with. It's these white liberals who are offended for other people. It's like the Washington Post wanted to set, and the Washington Post leans left. They wanted to settle the Redskin debate once and for all. So they did this massive poll of Native Americans. 92% said they were okay or did not care.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, 97% said they were okay or did not care about the name Washington Redskins. It was 3%. There are more white people offended by the name Redskins than there are Native Americans who are offended by it. And that's the thing. It's like Black Panther. Yes, it stars a black man. It's about an African nation. It is directed by a black man. But it is not a movie made specifically for black people. It is a movie made to be enjoyed by everyone. Yes. Just like Thor Ragnarok, directed by a Kiwi, starring an Aussie, mostly white people in it. It is made to be enjoyed by everyone, and that's the problem.
Like there was one American that I could think of in that movie that was the main cast, and
Jeff Goldblum.
And I never once said to myself, "I'm not American, so should I not watch this movie?"
Yeah,
And that's the problem with the way our society has gotten so sensitive these days.
It's so stupid.
Is that Marvel is not trying to make a political point with this movie.
They're trying to make money.
They're trying to make money first and foremost. But they have this character which I don't know why it took them as long as it did to like introduce Black Panther into Civil War.
Because Wesley Snipes wanted to make that movie a long time ago before.
No,
and I'm
because
so
I've
glad
seen
he
Wesley Snipes do an African accent. Yeah. It is terrible.
No, he tried so long, and then he finally gave up, and then his manager got him Blade.
I've just seen him in movies, and I'm sorry, he's a horrible actor.
He is phenomenal in Demolition Man, though.
It really
is. Sly Stallone
like,
chew the scenery so well.
Oh, yeah. But that was like, what, 91, 92?
93.
No, it's like...
93 because they started the movie in 97.
Okay,
because I did watch it fairly recently.
Right.
I know the movie was made in 95, but I'm not arguing with you.
No, because the future was supposed to be like 1997 in that movie.
Yeah, and then it was like 2020 or 20 something.
Like 20,
where
30
the
or something.
Most of the movie takes place. Yeah.
But
no,
so
he's good
I
to play,
genuinely
too.
want people to see this movie.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's a movie made for everybody.
Yeah,
and this goes back to what I said about John Boyega being cast as Finn. I don't think JJ said, I want a black stormtrooper. I think JJ did auditions, because there's no way John Boyega, off of Attack the Block, which is a good movie, got that role just like, I saw Attack the Block. I want that guy to play stormtrooper.
Yeah.
I think JJ, because I've seen parts of the script, it doesn't say Finn is black. I think JJ probably did a bunch of auditions. John Boyega is the one who impressed him the most, and that's why he cast him. And I think that's the way entertainment needs to be.
But you remember the upheaval?
Well, yeah, there was an upheaval, but my thing is that upheaval is a loud minority. That's not the way most people felt. It's just that these minority pockets of people get very loud.
Yeah.
Just like a lot of these SJWs when they make you, like the Washington Redskins thing. Yeah. A bunch of white liberals made a big uproar about it, and 3% of Native American populations made this big uproar about it. But the way the media played it up, they made it seem like
it was like 99%.
They made it seem like it was the majority. So that's the one downside to social media. It gives everyone. The upside is it gives everyone a voice. The downside is
it gives everyone a voice.
It gives everyone a voice. And if you're loud enough, you might not even be close to the majority. But if you're loud enough, people assume you're the majority.
Yeah.
Just like that video I posted about the Tide Pod Challenge done by my good buddy Matt Pat over on the Game Theorist and Film Theorist, is how incidents of the Tide Pod Challenge were extremely low. The media blows it up and makes it seem like it's a big thing. And because they made it seem like a big thing, Tide Pod Challenge's YouTube videos got a ton of views.
Yeah.
Right.
So then a bunch of copycats came on.
Yeah.
And that was a pure example of the media sensationalizing a small thing, making it seem larger, so people are like, oh, I want to get a bunch of views, I'll do this to get views.
So let's actually take that and let's compare Wonder Woman to Black Panther. So I sincerely think, as far as Wonder Woman's concerned, either somebody bought all those reviews, or somebody got paid a lot of money to talk about how good this movie was supposed to be. And me personally, I think that with the storyline of Wonder Woman, it pretty much fell flat on its
face. It's just Captain America just redressed.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it was quite like how you.
I don't think people paid for views.
I think it's more along the lines of a lot of the because there's a lot more smaller reviewers than like any big reviewers. I think a lot of small reviewers were just kind of afraid to badmouth the movie.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were afraid to badmouth the movie because they'd get called sexist. Yeah. And I think that not necessarily being paid, but I think Warner Brothers kind of and SJWs kind of led this charge of, if you don't like Wonder Woman, you're a sexist.
Right.
And honestly, I think Black Panther's probably a good movie, so I don't think that's the case here. But I think maybe somebody might be along the lines of, maybe I'll give this a bad review, but they're afraid if they do, they'll get called a racist.
Yeah, a racist.
Which I don't think takes away from Black Panther, because like I said, it's a Marvel movie. It's probably good.
Yeah.
But I think definitely with the case of Wonder Woman, it was, if I give this movie a less than stellar review, I'm going to get called a sexist. And because like I said, I gave it a 7.6. I thought it was a good movie. It wasn't groundbreaking. It wasn't anything special.
Yeah.
The best scene in the entire movie got given away in the trailer.
Yeah.
Which was a huge disappointment.
What, the end credits?
No, the trench scene where she walks out with the shield.
Yeah.
That was the best scene in the movie.
All right.
And it was given away to us for free.
Yeah.
But it was a carbon copy of Captain America. And I'm pretty sure the original script was World War II. Because they made the Germans seem a lot like Nazis. And that's not how the Germans were in World War One.
Right.
So I really think a lot of people were afraid to give that a bad review. Yeah. Because I think honestly it's because its Metacritic score was a 75. Its Rotten Tomato score was like a 90 something, which was not deserved. I think a lot of people were borderline and decided to give it a positive review so they didn't get called.
Because like a 75 is probably what I would have given that movie. I enjoy the movie's first 2 acts. The third act, it falls apart.
Oh, it falls completely apart.
Yeah.
I mean, and I still watch the movie from time to time, so it's not like I hate it at all. But yeah, it's just like it's a good movie. It's an okay movie.
And
it's
a good background movie.
Yeah. And the funny thing is,
you can do your laundry to that movie.
Zack Snyder wanted to direct that movie, and WB was like, "No, Patty Jenkins is going to direct that."
Because
the reason why,
look at your cluster.
Because they would later fire him, and that, my friends, is a segment. I'm sorry, a segue.
A segue to the next segment.
Yes. So it came out, and I really wish I wrote this down. I don't feel like looking at my phone, but this one reporter who's switching from entertainment to a different subject decides like, fuck it, I'm out of here. I'm spilling the beans. Zack Snyder was fired. Which
I read that article.
Deservingly so, because Man of Steel is okay at best. Yeah. I know you really don't like it. I know you like it. But it's okay at best. It's a bad Superman movie, but a decent superhero film. It completely misses the mark on Superman.
I'll give you that.
But it's an okay film. Like, it's not a bad movie. Like, I can get entertainment value out of it. But the Superman fan in me does not like it at all.
Okay.
And then Batman vs. Superman.
On the inside.
Batman vs. Superman is god-awful. Justice League is entertaining.
I haven't seen that yet.
I haven't seen it yet.
Hold on, so
I have it now.
Is that going to be on Netflix? Because I'm not
It
paying
most likely will.
Well, I have Justice League, so anytime you want to watch it, you just go over here and watch it.
So, but here's the thing, though. I don't want to watch it. Like,
I have Hulu. I don't have HBO.
I almost don't want to make any kind of effort
you
to
can get
watch
all
it.
the
But I know
movies
that.
with HBO through
I will
Hulu.
say this: Justice League is entertaining, and the only reason why I feel it's entertaining was because Joss Whedon came in and helped and fixed and salvaged what he could. Because from this report about Zack Snyder being fired, is that Justice League, his cut is unwatchable. Which also makes me laugh because a lot of DC fanboys who didn't like Justice League are like, we want the Zack Snyder cut. And everything I've heard about the Zack Snyder cut,
everything I've heard,
it is just a god awful train wreck.
Wow.
Why did they let him on in the first place?
Because
he had a lot of buzz. Because he
300.
He did 300. And
300
he did
was
Watchmen.
300 was a home run. Watchmen
got mixed reviews.
Watchmen, I think. Well, it was a shot-for-shot remake of the comic.
With some rearrangements.
And going back to my previous thing about something being overhyped for me, I felt Watchmen was just okay. Yeah. But also Watchmen was, like, preached to me like it was the greatest comic book ever written.
Yeah.
I
read it that week that it came
But
out.
I don't know. I think Zack Snyder at some point had incriminating photos of somebody high up in WB. Because Sucker Punch was god-awful, and yet he still got the DCEU after Sucker Punch.
I still haven't seen that entire movie. I tried to watch it when
I got like 20 minutes in, I was like, fuck this noise.
I bought it that Black Friday that I still ended up going to work and only having like a half hour's worth of sleep. Yeah. So that was just a bad idea, trying to watch that when I got home after only having a half hour's worth of sleep.
Yeah, I watched about 30 minutes, I checked out, and luckily like a couple weeks later CinemaSins did everything wrong with. So it's like, okay, I didn't miss anything. I saw what I needed to see.
I still have it.
And I have funny commentary. But a quick sidetrack.
Sucker Punch.
A quick sidetrack about CinemaSins. Damn them. Because Sean loves CinemaSins and he watches it a lot. I'm watching 10 Cloverfield Lane with him last night, and he enjoyed the movie, but he's calling out sins. Like, he's like, this, and this. And then, I shit you not, we watched CinemaSins right after that. Holy shit, a lot of the sins he called out for that movie were in the 10 Cloverfield Lane CinemaSins.
So he's catching them before watching the video.
Yeah, so he was calling out these sins while we were watching Cloverfield Lane. He had never seen the CinemaSins. He had never seen 10 Cloverfield Lane. He's calling out sins, and then him and I watched the CinemaSins for 10 Cloverfield Lane. Yeah. And holy shit, we're not a majority of his sins that he called out in their cinema sins. It made that CinemaSins even funnier to me. So I was like, and unfortunately, and I tweeted at CinemaSins. Unfortunately, they didn't get back to me. I was like, you've ruined movies for me because now my son is calling out sins, and then I watch your sins videos later, and he's spot on with everything you guys are calling. But back to Zack Snyder. The one problem I said this when he stepped down, and I said this on this podcast. He got fired. Like he didn't step down. They're just using this opportunity to fire him and make it look like he's stepping down.
Yeah.
And I definitely agreed with that. And I said it then. It was disrespectful and a disservice to use the guise of his daughter's suicide as the reason for him leaving. And for that, I just feel that's the shadiest shit ever. Because I even said that because this was months after his daughter had committed suicide when he stepped down.
Yeah. That was the thing that I was like...
that doesn't make sense to me because... If his daughter's suicide was because usually when tragedy happens, especially for creative people, they bury themselves in work. Yeah. Like you look at
you drop out immediately of what you're doing.
Yeah, it's one or the other. You don't hang around for like 3 months and then drop out.
Right. Yeah.
So that's where I like it. Kind of like went off in my head. I was like, because probably what he did do was bury himself in his work with our Justice League, and then WB was like, "This is god awful. You got to step away." And they're like, "You can." And I don't know if it was WB's idea to use this excuse or if that was Zack Snyder's way of saving face. No matter whose idea it was
not a good idea.
It was sleazy because you use the tragedy to give an excuse, which is never a good idea. And at this point, I think it makes WB look worse, no matter whose idea it was, because that was the excuse given, and it comes out now he was fired, which I don't think really anybody in the know was surprised that this came out, that he was fired, because so many publications, like respectable publications, are reporting on it without getting a secondary source, and usually respectable publications will get a confirming source before they report anything.
Right.
So I think it was kind of like under the surface known by all these people, but no one was going to report on it until someone did, and then it was like, oh yeah, we fucking knew.
Right. Right.
So
was Justice League better than Wonder Woman?
It was more... I don't think it's a better movie. It was more entertaining than Wonder Woman. I had more fun with Justice League than I had with Wonder Woman. But structurally, Wonder Woman...
my interest.
Structurally, Wonder Woman's a better made film with better character development. Just, like, The Flash is a lot of fun. And in spite of him being a bro, Jason Momoa is kind of fun as Aquaman. There are fun elements to the movie. Like,
you mean like the way he said goodbye and just dove into the water?
That was dumb. But there are moments. It's a popcorn flick. This is not a movie you are going to dissect and think about later.
Yeah.
Because until things are brought up to me, like Nelson talked about the way he said bye and dove into the water, I'd forgotten all about that.
That's like one thing that I saw about it, and because I just didn't care. And it just made me laugh because he's so stupid. He's like, my man.
Yeah, and he does like this. He does like this safety fall, like you're taught to do when you're doing like martial arts and wrestling. Yeah. When you fall back with your arms like that. He does that fall, which says to me that he's not even in water for this. He's falling on a mat, and they just like CG him in the water. But there are fun moments to the movie, and in fact, my favorite scene is when Aquaman gets all, like they're about to go into battle, he gets all sentimental and mushy, and then the camera pans out, he's sitting on the lasso of truth, and he just like throws that at one woman. It's an entertaining scene, like I won't go into what he says, but he starts like pouring his heart out to everybody. Funny. It's a fun scene, like I said. It's a fun movie that you will forget about instantly after you're done watching it, but while you're watching it, you're entertained.
Yeah.
It really doesn't have much of a structure, and it falls apart. And the villain's bad, and there's just a lot of bad things about it. But I feel it's a movie we could have fun drinking a few beers, doing a commentary track over.
Yeah.
It's a Mystery Science Theater 3000 movie. It's a Rocky Horror film movie. Bad.
Yeah.
Just with a much bigger budget.
Way bigger.
Unlike the other bad movies in the DCEU, like Suicide Squad, which I still maintain is unwatchable, and Batman vs Superman, which is just a mess.
Yeah.
So at least this movie, I got some entertainment out of it. I got some enjoyment out of it. And I didn't buy it, thank God. Keish bought it on our Apple Family plan. I will watch it again. Like, I have plans to watch it this weekend. In fact, I thought about watching it when I got home from work today.
Movie?
Justice League.
Oh.
But my workout ran long, so by the time I got home, it was like 7 o'clock. I had to eat dinner, and I knew you guys were getting here about 8:30, 9-ish. So I was like, I don't have time to watch the movie. But I probably will watch it at some point. And in fact, tomorrow when we're doing Drunk Gaming, I may watch it shit-faced drunk.
And not remember a damn thing.
Well, I don't remember much about it when I watched it Stone Cold Sober. And it was definitely one of those movies I went to see because I had Movie Pass. Like, I picked Sean up from his mom's. I was like, hey, bud, because it was a 3-day weekend. I was like, hey, you want to go see Justice League? Because I would just have to buy his ticket.
Yeah.
And it would be a matinee.
And traffic was bad anyway.
Yeah, traffic was bad, so I was like, fuck it, I don't want to drive home.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to get stuck in all this traffic. There's a movie theater along the way. Went to go see it at Paragon.
Yeah.
Free plug, Paragon. You're welcome. And so I was like, it cost me like $7 for his ticket.
Right.
So, and then popcorn and whatever. And so I was like, we'll go see it, whatever. Because Sean kind of wanted to go see it. Because he's a kid, so even when the superhero movies are bad, he still kind of enjoys them. Kind of like Batman Forever for me.
And Super Mario Brothers for me.
Shut up, Nelson. So it's kind of like he even likes Suicide Squad, but I think because he's a kid, he doesn't really know.
He doesn't dissect it.
He doesn't dissect it. He doesn't know film structure. He doesn't know what makes a good movie. He just knows.
Well, given from the last story, he's going to start.
Yeah. Right. He's probably going to start picking apart movies now. Because he just recently got into Cinema Sins. And I think it's just because he just saw it in my history on YouTube.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I need you to start signing out of your account.
No, I don't. I don't for YouTube, because then if he watches something I don't approve of, I know about it. So that's the thing, is because I could set up restrictions, but there are ways for creators, and I use that term lightly, to get around those restrictions, because we talked about that YouTube Kids scandal.
Yeah.
So I much prefer him going on my account for YouTube. That way I see what he watches. So I know if he watches something I don't approve of, I can have a talk with him. Hey, buddy, I don't want you watching this. Here's why I don't want you watching this. Because actually, funny aside for that, I saw in my history strip football. Meaning when it's football, European football, because it was a European video. He didn't understand the strip part. He was just looking for football videos. So I asked him about it when I got home, and I let him explain himself. I was like, I'm going to let him dig his own grave. He was like, Dad, I'm sorry. I turned it off as soon as there was bad language, because he thought I was bringing it up because I told him not to watch things with foul language in it.
Right.
He didn't even get to the strip part.
Yeah.
And he had no... I was like, do you know what strip means in this strip football?
Yeah.
And he had no idea, and it wasn't even like he was playing dumb to try to, not get in trouble.
The part of that story I liked was, I turned it off because it was soccer.
Yeah, he's like, he also found out it was soccer. But, yeah, because he was just looking for, football videos. So, probably in his mind, being strip football, strip as in ripping the ball out of somebody, fumble, kind of thing like that.
Right.
So, that's probably what he thought it was when he clicked on the video.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, oh, good, I don't have to have this talk with him now. Because it's kind of like, as any parent knows, you don't want to have that. You want to prolong the birds and the bees talk as long as you can. And I think he was 7 when this happened. I definitely did not want to have that talk with a 7-year-old.
Yeah.
And all that went through my mind is, you're having that conversation, and I walk in like Grandpa into the brothel from The Simpsons. I walk right back out. Are you Bart?
But to go back on what Izzo says about signing out on accounts, Sean has my, I got a family plan. I just gave Sean my old Samsung Galaxy phone. And I didn't think to factory reset it, because he was using it as basically an iPod before I had a phone line set up, because he would use Hangouts to call me from home.
Yeah.
And then finally it was just kind of like,
oh, this story, okay.
Sprint was offering a deal. So it was only going to cost me about $20 more to have the phone actually set up for him.
Yeah.
That when he was out playing with his friends, I could call him, he could call me back. So this goes back to the other night. I'm on Instagram, and Instagram now gives you suggested follows, not like it used to.
Yes.
So Haley Atwald's account was a suggested follow, and I'm just scrolling through, and the first thing I see when this suggested follow is Izzo liked one of her pictures.
But pay attention, because it actually gets real good from here.
Yeah, I screen grabbed the picture, and I sent it to him, instead of text, I sent it to him on Messenger, because for whatever reason, Izzo and I do more conversation on Hangouts than we do text messaging. I don't know why. I think it's just
sometimes you just have.
I think it's just left over.
This story is going to get really
good. It's left over from work because we couldn't have our phones on, so we would just do it from there. So it just became a habit. So I messaged him the picture, and I was like, "Shocker! This appears on my screen. Who's the first name I see liking this?" And he comes back, and we're just going back and forth, just joking about it. Then he comes back with a message saying, and I just recently started following Haley. And
so,
then,
I've only been following her for like the last few days, I think.
Yeah, and Sean's sitting next to me, but he's on his phone playing Clash of Clans. Mm-hmm. And the Hangout pops up on his thing, and he just looks at me and goes, "Who's Uncle Izzo stalking?" Because he used the word following, and Sean took it literal, meaning Izzo was following Haley all around.
That's totally not happening.
Wow.
So I had to explain to him, no, we're talking about Instagram, and Uncle Izzo is just following her account online. He's not actually legitimately following. But he's playing this game, he just looks up at me. Who's Uncle Izzo stalking?
He just didn't even think that was good.
Well, no, because he didn't read the message, because he ignores it, because my Hangouts will come through, and I don't really talk about anything on Hangouts anyways. Yeah. It's usually me just harassing Keenan to give Sean a new phone from Sprint so I can have that account deleted.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he just normally ignores it, but I think it's just, I just started following her. I just think that sentence appearing in the preview that drops down. I think that's
and he's
that's
old enough to know what stalking is.
I think that's what kind of like triggered him to like pay attention to what just came across the screen.
And the stalker award is right there.
Yeah. So that just made me.
I will accept this award.
That just made me laugh so hard because it's just like he just deadpanned. He just kind of glared up at me, and I just
imagined the face because Josh made a accurate enough face. So
So it was just kind of funny, and it got a laugh from me and my mom because we were sitting there waiting to be seated for dinner.
Nice.
It was good times. We were surrounded by a bunch of strangers too. So.
Man. So all these people know you're stalking some actors.
But the best part is because he used the word uncle, they probably assumed my biological brother, my mother's son. So it made it even more embarrassing for everybody involved.
Just like the Fantastic Four movie, I was adopted.
Yeah. Well, you and Nelson are basically adopted by my parents. Because they just assume, they assume because Nelson lives with me, if, I go someplace, they assume he's coming around. And usually if there's a family get-together, my mom's like, make sure you invite Izzo. So, they're basically family anyways.
Yeah, pretty much.
And, my mom will, freaking message Izzo, hey, I need help with something.
Oh.
She just goes around me now, because I think she's gotten to the point that I'm tired of being... Because I'm their handyman, if something breaks, I go to fix it. I think they figured out that I don't want to be their IT guy, too. And usually, if they've,
And luckily, Izzo's better at that than
I. Yeah, usually it's, 50-50 if I can fix their problem. And sometimes I can do it with just a Google search. But, half the time, she's describing something, I was like... Call Izzo. I
don't want to be your middleman, Mom.
Yeah, it's like I'm already lost. I don't want to try to relay your problem to Izzo because it's probably going to get lost in translation. Yeah. So I was like, just give Izzo a call. Yeah. I was like, and then she'll
just escalate it to tier 2.
Yeah, and the best thing is, I'm lucky to get a Jersey Mike sub if I come and do manual labor. She's giving him ribeye steak dinners.
Nice.
He comes over and all he does is push a few buttons on a fucking computer.
Yes.
It's like Control Alt Delete.
Yeah, it's I'm sure half the time it's off, on, problem
and now you get a
fixed.
steak.
You're welcome.
No, I do know just from being relayed from my mom some of the problems he had to deal with my dad's laptop because my dad just is an idiot with downloading stuff. I'm sure that was hard work. That probably deserved a steak dinner.
Of course it did.
Because my dad, I'll log onto his computer every once in a while. I'll be at the house. And Sprint's gotten better in their neighborhood, so I don't really have to do this anymore. But I used to just have to hop on his computer. I'd pull up Chrome, and some weird-ass search engine would pop up. I was like, what the fuck is Google not the default?
Yeah.
I'll just look at my dad's what did you do? I was like, if Google's not your default search,
something just hijacked your browser, and it's no.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
I just make sure it's that. It's because I was gonna log into something, nope, Mom, where's your laptop? Because I know that's safe.
Yeah. It's that's how you get your identity stolen.
Yeah, because it's like now Sprint's better up there, so it's I don't have to do that anymore. But it used to be I get to my parents' house. And I used to have like their Wi-Fi set to my phone, but when I got the Pixel, I didn't, and I was just too lazy to do it.
Yeah.
And then Sprint luckily got better, so it's like, okay, cool, I can just use my phone to do this. I don't have to worry about it.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. So yeah, so I know Izzo's had to fix his freaking computer a couple times, so that was probably worth the work or worth the stick in or so.
Yeah.
Indeed. Indeed.
Once again, we got sidetracked, but I think that's gonna do it for this week's episode. I think we've gone about an hour.
Yeah, I don't know what time it is.
Yeah, I don't know when we started. It's almost 10 o'clock. We had to start around 9.
Yeah.
Because like we said, there wasn't much to talk about. We'll all be seeing Black Panther at some point this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I will probably post. I haven't done a fireside chat in a while, so I'll probably do a fireside chat about it. I'll give you my honest review of it. Like I said, I'm expecting it to be at least an 8. Just with the creative people involved, I don't think it's going to be a bad movie at all. But like I said, I hope it's not been hyped to the point to where I walk in.
Hopefully it's not critical mass, but I have a feeling that because of the hype, I'm just not going to like it as much as I probably would have without it.
Yeah, because like I did a good job avoiding shit going into Last Jedi because I really wanted to go in that as a blank slate. So I watched like the first trailer and left it alone. Same with Black Panther. I haven't watched the trailer since like December.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to know too much about the movie.
Right.
I've heard that there are 2 end credit scenes.
Oh, there always are now.
Yeah.
But like the last trailer I watched was the one where it revealed that Killmonger had his own Black Panther suit, and I wish I hadn't seen that trailer. Because that would have been a cool surprise in the movie.
Yeah.
And that's actually my one concern about this movie is that he's got his own Black Panther suit. Mm-hmm. Are we doing another like Iron Man 1 where he faces off against like an identical version of himself?
Yeah.
And like Captain America 1 where the Red Skull was basically the Nazi version of Captain America.
Yeah.
That's my only concern for the movie is that we're going back to Phase 1 tropes, which, you know, if they're showing that fight in the trailer, that fight's probably not in the 3rd act. Mm-hmm. So there's probably something more there, which, well, I'm hoping.
Right.
But yeah, that was the only...
Well, I don't even think they've shown that pink suit of his.
The purple one? Yeah, I've seen it in commercials.
Let's kind of keep that down because I really haven't watched too much of this.
Well, that was in the Lexus Super Bowl commercial.
I didn't see it.
Which I thought they were using Audis in that movie, but I guess they switched to Lexuses. But I do have a funny thing when it switched to Lexus because the Marvel movies have been using Audis since I think Iron Man 1.
Yes,
definitely
Definitely
Iron Man 2.
Acura's.
Oh, he's right.
Oh, that's right. They were Acuras. Then they switched to Audis. I think Iron Man 2 they switched to Audis.
I thought he still had an Audi in Iron Man 1 when he went to go...
Well, he did rock the R8, but that's a different...
That's what I was about
because
to
the R8's an exotic. Like, that's not endorsement. But yeah, they did switch to... Because I was... Yeah, you're right, Acuras. Because I was like... Because S.H.I.E.L.D. being a U.S. thing, I was like... No government agency would use a foreign car. Those would be Fords or Chevys.
Yeah.
Or Dodges.
What? DOS uses foreign cars like nobody's business.
Do they? Because in DC, where I'm at, every agency has
a Chevy.
Well, no, it's mostly Focus. Actually, no, I take that back. There are a couple of Hyundais.
Yeah.
I
So think it's really just based on the contract
price,
from the manufacturer.
But the majority of cars I see parked around all the federal buildings around me are Ford Focuses now.
Really?
Black Ford Focuses, yeah. Mostly the hybrid ones.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry, not Focus. Fusion, not Focus. Fusion.
I was like, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's a small car. No, I'm sorry,
a small car.
That's the one downside. I hate to Ford going to all S for everything for the most part. It's kind of like...
Oh, yeah, it's like you get confused.
I do like how they went to the Ford 500, and they...
You would have got a weird look at me if you said Fiesta.
They quickly went back to Taurus, though. They're like, oh, shit, these aren't selling. Throw the Taurus badge on it.
Yeah.
And same car, just new year, different name. Sold like gangbusters.
They changed the body style of it, though.
Not the first year it became a Taurus again, because it was still the 500 body style when it went back to Taurus.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, it was either the next year or 2 years later when they went to the current Taurus body style, which was more in line of a modern version of the 80s Taurus. Which, say what you will about anything, that 1989 Taurus, for its era, was a sexy car for the way 80s suburban cars were. Not suburban, sedan cars, thank you. Were at the time because they were all boxy and ugly.
That's a big ass car.
Honestly, if it didn't have the show nameplate on it, I couldn't have cared.
Dude, that show was awesome. Oh, did you? And this is completely off topic from what we were going with. The Mercury Sable show prototypes that were an aluminum body and everything like that. They only made like 3 of them. holy shit! Like Jalop did a entire. This was years ago, so I probably won't be able to find it because Gawker's search engine is god awful. But they did a whole report of it. Holy shit, that car was gangbusters, and like they found one in Canada, and
like said bang bus. I was like, wait, what?
Bang bus.
That car
you bring your windows.
That car was faster than the show, just because it was so much lighter with that all aluminum body.
Right. I'd hate to see what the crash.
Yeah. It's kind of funny, like what Ford did with the Mercuries for a while. Just like the
Marauder
Marauder was just a souped-up Interceptor.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like because originally the Mercury label was like the hot rod label for Ford, and then it just became like this in between. There was like Ford, a little bit more luxury was with Mercury, and the top line luxury with Lincoln. Yeah. But yeah, I think instead of killing Mercury, what Ford should have done was turn that into an experimental division. Like, we'll make like these new weird not fancy, but like fast like cars. We'll give it the Mercury badge. Go back to the way because the Cougar was just an awesome like muscle car back in the day. And
I didn't mind the Milan. The Milan looked kind of nice.
Well, the Milan was the 500.
Oh, was it?
And
that I didn't know.
Badge,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, that would explain why I thought it was nice looking.
Yeah, just me being a Ford guy. Like I know all the ins and outs of Ford. Which is why I have a Lincoln. I graduated. God, I love my MKZ. It's so nice.
Sometimes I miss my Tracer, but then
Tracer.
Then I don't. All the grief it gave me at the end of its life, I'm like, I don't miss it.
I really enjoyed my dad's Escort. I used to steal that when I was 15 and 14 and 15 and drive it around. Because he would like carpool into work, and they wouldn't get home till like 6 o'clock. I'd get home from high school, bored. I was like, I don't know, it'd be cold. I was like, I'm not riding my bike several blocks to my friend's house. I'm just gonna drive because there was a spare key, and it wasn't like I was taking on main roads. I was driving on like the back roads and everything like that. But
around the neighborhood and shit.
Yeah, the Escort was a nice small car, which then became the focus. And the focus of this podcast has gone completely off the rails. No, I think I like this podcast where we just start talking. So we're all gonna go see Black Panther this weekend. So we'll definitely all talk about it in depth next podcast again. I'll do a fireside chat for it some point this week to discuss what I thought about it. I'm expecting good things. That's kind of the wrap up for this. No other big news because I don't think there's any. The only other big movie coming out is Annihilation, which I'm still on the fence about.
I didn't realize it was coming out this early.
It's at the end of the month, yeah.
Yeah, I thought I don't know why I thought that was coming out in like.
There really is no like lull in movies anymore. Just because
there was a lull between Christmas and now.
No, 12 Strong.
You didn't go see 12 Strong.
12 Strong.
I've not seen it yet.
12 Strong's good.
Fantastic. And
that's all I keep hearing about.
Another note is I'm reading the book, The Horse Soldiers, that it's based on. That book is fantastic, and it gives you a nice. I was talking to the
Israel. The only issue I have heard about it is, how can you have an Aussie play an American soldier? That is the only problem.
Because it's Chris motherfucking Hemsworth.
And that's what I said.
Let me delve deep.
And I haven't even seen the movie
Let me delve
yet.
deep.
I was like, it's Chris Hemsworth.
Into how this movie was made for me.
He played in Red Dawn, for God's sakes. Like, I mean,
but this movie,
Mel Gibson used to play an American all the time.
Well, Mel Gibson.
He played in The Patriot.
Mel Gibson also grew up in New York City. Like he was born in Australia.
His accent isn't even like there.
But anyways, let me go into depth of how this movie was made for me. Okay, so the movie comes out my birthday weekend. Okay, and I wanted to see it. Like it looks like a cool movie. So Nelson and I are sitting there in the theaters, going in blind. Basically, I'd seen one trailer. I thought it looked kind of cool. I was like, let's go see this movie. We have a movie pass. So even if it sucks, we paid $0 for it.
Pretty much.
Right. So we're watching
we
the
paid
movie.
$9.99.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we go see one. Well, that was
one movie a day.
Well, that was my second movie in January, so I'd already paid for my. I still need to go see a movie this month, which will be Black Panther to pay for my movie pass.
You guys are really making me want to get that movie pass.
Get it.
Before it goes out of business. But I still enjoy the fact that I have
one movie to Paragon pays for it for the
one movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Theater. But anyways, let me get to my story. You guys keep interrupting.
Story.
So we're sitting there in the movie, and immediately it opens. It goes Fort Campbell, Kentucky. I lean over to Nelson. I was like, "That's where I was born."
Oh, shut up.
Yeah, so that was kind of cool right away. Like I was born there. Chris Hemsworth is the main character. People say I look like him. So two connections right there.
Yeah.
So I'm watching the movie. And the house they lived in. And I'm not saying the house that it's filmed at was the house I grew up in because it's an army base. Similar houses. But that was the exact same style because I don't remember the house because I was 6 months when we moved to Virginia. But I've seen pictures of us in front of the house, exact same style of house. I was like, wow, this is really cool, kind of thing like that. I'm seeing this army base that I didn't get to witness even though I was born there. So I thought that was kind of cool. So then, just the movie's awesome. We enjoy it. And like I said, those two connections right there. On my birthday, it starts out at my birthplace.
Yeah.
And then Chris Hemsworth, who resembles me.
Yeah.
And then I get the book, and I'm reading more of the book. And not only does it talk about more about those 12 soldiers, but it also talks about the CIA agents who are working with them. All of the CIA agents, Nelson, lived in Prince William County, where I grew up.
Really?
Yeah. So
like, you didn't tell me about that part.
No, I forgot to. I talked about that with my mom on Tuesday.
You hadn't got to it.
Yeah. So it's just kind of funny, like all these different connections between the book and the movie with me. I was like, it was almost like this was made with me in mind. Josh, you normally get shit movies released on your birthday weekend.
We're gonna give you this
really good
one
one for you that has all these cool connections that as you're reading. I'm only halfway through the book.
Don't expect anything else for your birth month.
Yeah.
For the rest of your life.
Exactly.
But yeah, with January usually being a shit month for movies, like we got at least one good movie coming out, and I don't even know what else was released in January, but to get one good movie in January, I'm happy
What
with.
is that movie called? The one with the water,
Shape of Water.
There. That was another one.
I thought that got released in December.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was December.
I thought that was right around Christmas. Yeah.
I mean, you're close. You're close, but you're
maybe
like a month off.
Well, it could have been limited release. It could have been limited release in December, and then
it could have
The
been.
Greatest Showman. Did that come out in December?
That came out. That might have been November. Actually,
I think that was like the
I haven't
week
seen
or
a
2 weeks after
movie
Star
in
Wars.
like
Was
a
it?
hot
Okay.
second.
Yeah, I haven't seen
So
anything since.
That was kind of the cool connection with me and 12 Strong, which I really dug all of that. Like I especially dug like even in the book because like
Jedi. That was the last movie I saw.
You're only in Kentucky for like maybe 10-15 minutes of the movie, but the book goes into a lot of in depth about Hopkinsville, Kentucky, which is where Fort Campbell. Well, Fort Campbell's actually kind of cool. Fort Campbell is in Hopkinsville, Kentucky, and also in Tennessee. It crosses the border, so you can cross the border within the base. But it, I think all of the guys in 12 Strong, all of these special forces, Green Berets, they're all on the Hopkinsville side. So it's just kind of cool, like reading these details about my birthplace that I don't know about because I didn't live there long enough. Yeah. So it was just kind of a cool like thing for me to connect to a part of my life that I don't know anything about.
No,
I
it
have
makes
no memory
sense.
of it. So that was cool about the first part of the book. And then, like I said, when I started talking about the CIA agents, how they all live in Prince William County, where I grew up, I was like, so.
But that's really nothing for us, for those of us that live in this area, because. Oh, what do you do? Oh, I work for the government.
Well, no, I know
the
that.
sky's blue.
But what I'm saying is the book starts where I was born with those first characters. Then we move on to characters who are from where I grew up. So it's just kind of this cool connection. Like maybe like when I'm 3/4 of the way booked, I'll find a character from Stafford where I live now.
Like, stop it right
That
now.
would be eerie. I'm
Stop
like,
it. What?
But
that'd be funny if it was one of our neighbors.
But I know, it'd be like, holy shit, Josh, like for real.
Hey, Josh, go see that movie?
But other cool connections but other cool connections to this book and these soldiers and my real life is a couple of the guys, Cal Spence, the guy played by Michael Shannon, General Zod.
Yeah. He will find you.
Yeah, he was this special forces unit is the same. Well, the older members, not the younger, as like Chris Hemsworth's character. He wasn't a part of this because he was too young. But like, Spence and the Hispanic guy's name from Ant-Man. Michael Pena's character, Diller. His character Diller. They were a part of this special forces unit. Were the ones who went in and got Manuel Noriega out of Panama. My dad is the one who planned that attack. So again, another connection to my real life with these soldiers. So it's just these kind of cool like little things when you read a book.
Shit.
Yeah, it's just kind of like how
keep digging.
How like I don't directly connect to any of these people, but like these weird intersects. Kind of like in my.
It is kind of weird.
Yeah,
it's interesting to hear stuff like that though, because you never really expect to see or hear anything about that when you go in to see like a movie.
Like,
yeah, well, it was like
or read a book or something like that.
I can't think of the author's name right now. I'm trying to see if I can. I gotta look it up real quick. Hold on 1 second. My bookshelf right over here. Brad Meltzer, his books, because he grew up in the D.C. area and then moved to Florida, but a lot of his early books take place in D.C. with like federal government.
Yeah.
And like inside congressional stuff, and that's what I do. I do congressional work. So it's kind of cool when I would read his books, and it would talk about daily lives of these aides and stuff like that. And I'm not a congressional aide; I just work with Congress through the FAA. But a lot of these documents and these like file types, mail types, and all these things, like I see these on my daily life, and then I'm reading about these things in these thriller novels. So it's always like when you make those kind of connections to a book,
it attaches you a little bit more to
that, and it makes the book come more alive to you because you know about these things in your real life.
It's something that you can picture in your head
because
you already know.
So where 12 Strong is a true story, you know, I know these things actually happen, where the Brad Meltzer stuff is fiction, but it makes that fiction come alive more because I've seen this, I've been in this building. I've walked down that.
You know what it looks like.
Yeah, exactly. I've walked down that hallway that he's describing.
You can even smell it. You can
exactly. It makes you get even more lost in it, which is why I always get excited when films take place in DC.
Yeah.
And are actually filmed in DC.
Yeah.
Because like I know those locations. I've been to locations like Captain America, The Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
You know how I like to brag to Nelson how I'm an extra in that movie, running back and
You
forth.
told me.
But like I love that opening scene where they're running along the mall, because that's the route I run, and I was running that before the movie came out. That's the route I run every day in the summer and spring.
By the way, you want to like step in and be Chris Hemsworth's like stuntman?
That'd been awesome, because that's when I had short hair and clean shaven.
You can't be here right now. You look exactly like.
I'd have fucking done it in a heartbeat. There were no questions.
Taking off the rest of the day at work.
I would have liked.
I've seen his stunt double. You look more like Chris
No
Hemsworth.
doubt, I have seen his stunt double, and I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah.
Like,
as much as I hate to fucking agree,
I'd lie my ass off too. Do you have experience doing stuff work? Yeah, dude. I do it all the time.
Let's break something. Let's go.
And that was the last we ever saw of Josh.
Yeah.
No, because Lawrence from Funhouse.
Sean, I'm your new daddy now.
Well, no, you do have that contingency plan. Anything happened to me, you just scoop him up from school, disappear to Europe or Japan. That's the contingency plan. But no, like Lawrence from Funhouse went to stunt school, and this is no disrespect to Lawrence at all. I find him highly entertaining. But I feel if he could make it through stunt school, I could make it through stunt school because I am way more physically fit than Lawrence is.
Yeah, but the story that the picture you just painted, you didn't even get a chance to go to stunt school. You would have died.
I winged it. I went through high school playing hockey, baseball, and football, and I got a 9-year-old who treats me like a wrestling dummy. I'm pretty sure I could take
None of those things are trying to impale you.
That's true.
Or throw you off a building.
Yeah.
Have you had a hockey stick rammed into you at someone skating
No.
30 miles an hour?
What you were just about to say, which
I was like,
is that what I doing phrasing now?
No.
rammed into you.
And on that bombshell,
He has a hockey stick
we've
rammed
gone way over.
inside of him.
We'll just leave you with that image.
Oh.
Good night, Tokyo.
Oh, man.
Which one do I choose
Gross.
first?